Now, as we near the anniversary of the Sun Prairie explosion, we take a look at a local museum reopening. And a car crashes into a home, setting it on fire, but police are still looking for the driver. Plus, we introduce you to some hardworking goats at a festival in their honor.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. A year after the devastating explosion in Sun Prairie that killed Fire Captain Corey Barr and leveled buildings, an important piece of the downtown's history is preparing to reopen. Madeline O'Neill is back from Sun Prairie with how your memories can play a role. Maddie?
Amanda, the Sun Prairie Historical Library and Museum on Main Street has been closed since the explosion last year as they work to preserve history both long ago and recent. They're asking the community to be part of that process.
It was very much a striking moment in this community.
The explosion that wrecked buildings and took a life.
It profoundly affected everyone who lived here.
Couldn't touch the thing museum director Helen Worka spends her life preserving.
And telling stories, it's in my very fabric. It's in my blood.
History and the artifacts that represent it.
Can you see how it says 707?
Like this clock from a business at the old City Hall building when time seemed to stop.
Almost heart-stopping when I first saw it.
The relic of last year's explosion has been donated to the Sun Prairie Historical Library and Museum, which is a part of that history itself.
The building was very severely affected.
The explosion just down the block cracked the walls and blew out windows of the nearly century-old building housing the museum, which opened 50 years ago.
It has been here since May 4, 1969.
It wasn't time to close the book on it yet.
This is going to be where we celebrate the Georgia O'Keeffe works.
Worka says most exhibit items were untouched, but had to be moved into storage as the Common Council approved a budget amendment to help with the long rebuilding process.
It has been slow,
but well worth the time put in to keep the city's history alive.
It relates people. It brings them together. Shared memories.
Memories that help rebuild. As the clock ticks ahead, the community moves forward too.
History is now. We're making history every day as well.
As a page is turned, Worka thinks that's worth preserving.
It's really just been incredible to see. It's a very strong community.
There's still setup and construction work to be done, but the museum will reopen its doors next Sunday and begin limited public hours. And on the evening of July 10th, exactly a year after the explosion, the museum is inviting community members to share their memories and artifacts from that historic day that could end up as part of a planned exhibit.
All right, thank you so much, Maddie, and stay with us through Wednesday for continuing coverage of how Sun Prairie is still recovering 1 year later in our Sun Prairie Stronger series. Let's turn it over to Dana Fulton with your first alert forecast. A pretty beautiful day today.
It definitely was gorgeous outside. We had sunshine, we had pretty decent temperatures, and of course that low humidity made it really pleasant this afternoon. Our Doppler track has been quiet all around the state actually for the last several hours. Taking a little closer look to home, right now we have a mostly clear sky and no more rain coming through for us. Not just overnight, but Monday is also looking pretty dry. We're at about 66 right now in Madison, 70 in Janesville, close to 66 also in the Dells, and 69 in Lone Rock. Compared to this time yesterday, we're sitting in a similar spot, a degree or two cooler or warmer depending on which side of town that you may be on. Dew point wise, we're close to 60, which means it feels very comfortable outside. Our dew points will steadily increase though over the next few days as we look at our next system getting a little closer, pushing a little moisture in and bringing potentially some rain for the middle of the week. We'll take a closer look at your full forecast in just a few minutes. Amanda?
Thank you, Dana. More local news now. A house is a total loss after a car crashed into it, engulfing it in flames. Firefighters were dispatched just before 3 o'clock this morning to the intersection of South Riverside Drive and Inman Parkway in Beloit. They were able to extinguish the car fire, but didn't find anyone inside it. The home was also unoccupied and no one was injured, but the house couldn't be saved and damages are estimated to be $160,000. Police are still searching for the driver of that vehicle. An update to a story we brought you yesterday. Police say an officer was injured in a car crash shortly after 3 suspects were arrested following shots fired on State Street last night. Madison police responded to reports of gunshots on the 100 block of State Street just after 7 o'clock. Officials say 3 suspects were detained and there were no reported injuries. At around 8 o'clock, an officer who was driving to the scene was involved in a crash on East Johnson Street and Wisconsin Avenue. 3 people, including the officer, were sent to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Strengthening the bonds between kids and their mentors while enjoying the summer sunshine. Teams of 2 from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County went out on the water at Law Park to try out water skiing. So many of them for the first time with help from the Mad City ski team. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County pairs a big who must be over the age of 21 with a little for at least a 2-year commitment. This pair then attends events like today's to give children opportunities they may not have access to otherwise.
Just love spending time together and figuring out what we like to do together. So we like to go check out different activities, concerts, movies, art activities.
I like being in the program because I get to meet new people and I also get to spend time with my best friend Beth.
The organization strives to give every child the chance to succeed and thrive. Trying to inspire our next generation of pilots, kids and families had the chance to check out some pretty special airplanes this morning. The Madison and Middleton chapter of the Experimental Aircraft Association, or EAA, held its annual pancake breakfast this morning. Middleton Police and Fire and MedFlight brought equipment for children to spend time with. But the big hit at the event, the different airplanes and aviation activities, all part of the EAA's goal to get young people involved in aviation.
Fun time for people to come out and walk around the airplanes that they normally can't do and sit in airplanes and do all the kind of things that we get to do.
Proceeds from the breakfast go toward raising money for scholarships for students and young Eagles. Last year, EAA Chapter 93 provided 2 students with $10,000 scholarships to become private pilots. Thousands of Jefferson residents are thanking 3 of their own for the work they do on the island in the middle of the Rock River.
I love it. Everybody should love a goat.
This is Goat Fest, held, of course, on Goat Island. The event raises money to feed and take care of the 3 goats that live on the island. Dwayne Homan owns Anna, Elsa, and Buddy. He says they're out there for one reason: low-cost maintenance.
So because the vegetation just gets so high out there, I put my goats out there to eat it down. And the people enjoy seeing them. They went back in history and discovered that it actually was called Goat Island years and years ago.
Oman donates the goats to take care of the island. He's been raising goats for about 20 years. Around the state, authorities say a suspected car thief struck and killed a motorcyclist in western Wisconsin yesterday. The St. Croix Sheriff's Office says a pursuit started around 4 o'clock yesterday. Deputies attempted to stop the Jeep north of New Richmond, about 35 miles northeast of the Twin Cities. But the driver refused to pull over, then struck a group of motorcyclists, making a left turn. The motorcyclist died at the scene. Tomorrow, the trial starts for the man suspected of shooting and killing a Milwaukee police officer. Jordan Frick is accused of killing Matthew Rittner as he and his police unit executed a warrant on a home back in February. Frick is also charged with first-degree recklessly endangering safety and maintaining a drug house. He's jailed on a $1 million cash bond. Milwaukee's development commissioner says funding for a proposed streetcar extension is at risk. Officials say the project has been stuck in committee and is running months behind schedule. Milwaukee's mayor announced his plan in May to direct nearly $47 million in tax financing to the construction of an extension ahead of next summer's Democratic National Convention. The project is being held up in zoning, neighborhoods, and development committee over concerns from an alderman who wants changes to the plan. A report says about 1/3 of participating ports in the United States and Canada, including those in Duluth and Milwaukee, are keeping a detailed inventory of greenhouse gas emissions. Tracking is part of the Green Marine Environmental Certification Program. Officials say the program has seen a 12% increase in the number of participants, including ship owners, shipyards, and port authorities. The program's overall mission is to advance environmental excellence. Coming up on News 3 Now at 10, honoring a friend and a son. What a bench in Belleville means to the community. After the break. Welcome back. Belleville High School is honoring one of their graduates with a bench. Eduardo Fair died in a car accident last July, only 1 month after graduating. Gabriela Becerra shares how his friends and family are remembering him 1 year later.
Why did it take you 2 hours to go out to McDonald's?
Friends say everything was an adventure when they were with Eddie.
With Eddie, it's not just going out to eat. It's more of an experience than anything. Yeah, you go for the food, but Eddie is what makes it enjoyable.
And making the most of every moment is what he was known for.
Living your life as if it's your last day, because he would always try to make everything better and have a good time.
Eddie's loved ones say he cared deeply for everyone.
My son and I had a close relationship, and he always cared about how we felt.
Eddie planned to go to college for business entrepreneurship. His family found an unfinished plan of his to start a food truck business.
He was really excited to be the first person to go to college and start his career.
Eddie's sister now attends the same school he graduated from 1 month before his accident.
It's nice to walk in and see that every morning.
A bench in Eddie's honor sits in front of Belleville.
Eddie was just a ray of sunshine. I mean, like I said, his smile lights up the room when he would come in. Very pleasant, always positive.
Eddie's smile is how his loved ones will always remember him.
He always had the biggest smile. Anything he did.
In Madison, Gabriela Becerra, News 3 Now.
Eddie would have started community college this year and had plans to transfer to UW-Madison. The Madison Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps says it's starting something new.
And after 81 years, it's time for a new tradition to begin.
The Madison Scouts adopted an inclusive membership policy today, allowing women to join. The Scouts announced it with this video on Facebook saying that the board of directors has approved a, quote, non-discrimination policy that expands membership to all genders to participate in the Madison Scouts. Since its founding in 1938, the Madison Scouts have served an all-male membership due to its founding originally as a Boy Scout troop. The policy will be in effect starting next year. The 154-member Drum and Bugle Corps spends the summer traveling across the country and will compete at the DCI World Championships in August. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dana Fulton. Another day of sun, but then humidity's coming back eventually.
It is. It's creeping back in. It would be nice if we could keep it low for the rest of summer, really. Oh, yeah. That would be ideal.
I vote for that.
Unfortunately, I know, same. Unfortunately, we get the sunshine. We get to keep with that, but the humidity is going to increase with us for the next few days due to our next system pushing in. Now, temperatures this afternoon were in the upper 80s, so a very seasonal day outside. We started the day off in the upper 50s, pretty close to average, just a little below average. And early this morning, it was actually just a little cool outside before the sun came up. And then, of course, once the sun came up, everything was just fine and summer-like outside. Our Doppler track is quiet. We don't have anything moving in for us overnight. In fact, things are very quiet throughout most of the Midwest and plains. We are going to continue to see this high pressure bridging through, keeping Michigan all the way through the Dakotas pretty quiet. Our next system well off to the west. As it shifts east, we're going to see that increase in our moisture. Our high pressure pulls away, so our cloud coverage also increasing late on Tuesday, and then the shower chances start to march in. Plan on a mostly clear sky tonight. Monday also mostly sunny. Tuesday, though, we start to become partly sunny, and that shower chance creeps in later in the evening. The western edge of the state seeing it first, and then on Wednesday we have the chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. With those shower chances for Wednesday, though, we really aren't going to see much accumulation. Most of southern Wisconsin barely getting over a tenth of an inch, maybe a few tenths of an inch towards La Crosse or along the lake. Some isolated areas near a quarter of an inch, but it's not going to be a major rain event coming through Tuesday night, and for Wednesday, just a few little showers and again a few thunderstorms possible also, since it is going to be pretty warm outside on Wednesday. Overnight, we will fall to the upper 50s. That clear sky keeps us a little cool yet again, but in the afternoon, with the sunshine, we'll warm right on up to the low 80s. A very nice summer day for Monday. By Tuesday, though, our breeze becoming a little more southeast, so our temps will be a little warmer overnight. We'll be in the low 60s, and then in the afternoon in the mid to low 80s, with that rain chance starting to creep in later in the evening. And we'll continue to see that slight chance for isolated showers and thunderstorms overnight. Plan on an overnight low of about 59 in Madison. A mostly clear sky and 59. Pretty comfortable outside early in the day. We will have a light breeze coming from the east in the afternoon tomorrow, starting to shift so it's more east-southeast. 6 to 12, so enough that you'll notice it, but it should still be a pretty pleasant day, mostly sunny, a little warmer for us. In the mid-80s for Tuesday and Wednesday with those shower chances coming in. It's going to be pretty humid outside on Wednesday. Sunshine on Thursday, a little drop there on our temperatures on Thursday. But heading into next weekend, we see a warm up yet again in the upper 80s for Saturday and Sunday. Those temperatures are going to carry us into the following week. A little warming trend returns again for next weekend and the following week, and the humidity returning also. So it starts to feel back like we're in actual July, I guess.
Real summer.
Real summer.
All right, thank you so much, Dana. Badger fans are showing some extra pride for the U.S. women's national soccer team, throwing a World Cup watch party this morning. Many fans were there to support former Badger and now Women's World Cup champion Rose Lavelle. But all of them showed up to see the U.S. women's national team defeat the Netherlands for their 4th World Cup title. The Union put up a big screen on the terrace as well as inside at the Rathskeller.
Oh, I love this U.S. women's team. I've always loved it back in the day when they won the championship with Mia Hamm and other players, and now they're still the champs, so it's great.
Fans wore their USA gear and soccer team jerseys to show support of Team USA. Luckily, Union employees were able to get the outdoor screen up and running after it wasn't working for the start of the game, but the win made it all worth it. And if you missed the game, our Melissa Kim has highlights of the Team USA win. That's next in sports.
Well, it is going to be a family affair on the Bucks next season. Thanasis Antetokounmpo has reportedly signed a 2-year, $3 million contract in Milwaukee. And of course, if you recognize the last name, he is the older brother of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, Thanasis spent the last 2 seasons playing in Greece and averaged 5.4 points and 3.7 rebounds in the Greek Basket League. The 26-year-old has played in the NBA before. He played in 2 games for the Knicks in 2015 to 2016. The Antetokounmpo brothers joining the Lopez brothers, Brooke and Robin, to be the second pair of brothers on the team. Pretty cool stuff. Well, some unfortunate news for Christian Yelich. He will not be making an appearance in the home run derby because of a back injury. Oakland's Mac Chapman will take his place. Now, Yelich currently leads Major League Baseball with 31 home runs. Another injury update, this time to Orlando Arcia. He reportedly has a shoulder injury, but told reporters this morning that he's feeling good and isn't in any pain. In his place, the Brewers calling up Mauricio Dubon from AAA, where he's been hitting .306 with 14 home runs and 42 RBIs. A little interesting note, Dubon is now the first Major League player that was born and raised in Honduras. The rest of the team wrapping up the final series before the All-Star break. Jesus Aguilar carrying the offense today. 2-run shot here. His second home run of the game. Brewers tie it up at 3 in the 7th. But the Pirates would answer, and in the 8th, Keston Hiura slugging that ball into right field for another 2-run home run. It's a 1-run game, but the Pirates hang on. Brewers lose 6-5 the final. Well, after all the hype and anticipation, the U.S. women's national team going for back-to-back World Cup titles facing the Netherlands, the reigning European champions. Both Megan Rapinoe and Rose Lavelle did play, as they said they would, and thank God they did. We pick it up in the 2nd. Tobin Heath tries a crossover, but instead Alex Morgan gets kicked in the side while going for the ball. Eventually, a penalty was called after a review, so the kick for Rapinoe, she makes this look so effortless and easy. The Dutch keeper didn't even have to move. 1-0 USA in the 60th minute. 6 goals, 3 assists for Rapinoe in this World Cup. Less than 10 minutes later, check out former Wisconsin Badger Rose Lavelle casually between 2 defenders and strikes 2-0 USA. And with that goal, the United States now holds the record for the most goals scored in a Women's World Cup with 26 of them. Germany scored 25 in 2003. And the U.S. women win back-to-back World Cup titles. They've won 4 total, and there have only been 8 Women's World Cup tournaments. And afterwards, Rose Lavelle trying to put it all into words.
It's been a long journey and it doesn't seem real yet. It really hasn't hit me. It's like so surreal, and I feel so lucky to be a part of this group and play alongside these players.
We've done exactly what we've set out to do. We've done exactly what we want to do. We say what we feel. We are such a proud and strong and defiant group of women.
Now, this pose here, Rapinoe celebration, now one of the iconic images from this tournament. Now, this World Cup has been one of those events where sports transcends into news headlines, and this team is arguably one of the most successful in women's sports history. Now, that, of course, is a matter of opinion. I'm here to tell you the facts, smart sports, if you will. And according to the British newspaper The Guardian, for this win, each player on the women's team will get $250,000. Now, if the men's team wins a World Cup title, each player could get up to $1.1 million. That's about an $850,000 difference. Assuming that all the players, regardless of gender, work hard, practice same hours, etc., etc. Just some food for thought here. Meanwhile, the men's team in the Gold Cup final against Mexico at Soldier Field. Second half here, Mexico driving, and Jonathan Dos Santos. What a move there. And the U.S. men lose this one, 1-0 the final. We'll be right back.
It is World Chocolate Day. Every year on July 7th is International Chocolate Day, a day that celebrates the consumption of chocolate. You guessed it. For some people, today might be a special day to enjoy their guilty pleasure, but for chocolatiers, every day is a chance to experiment.
Everyone's different. We have chocolate exists in our shop every day of the year. So to us, every day is chocolate day. It's what we do, and it's what we do, and it's what inspires us.
I think for a lot of people, every day is chocolate day.
I know. People, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be one of those weirdos that says I don't really like chocolate
I'm
that
not
much.
a chocolate gal either. Melissa?
I mean, I like chocolate. I don't like chocolate ice cream, though.
No, artificial flavor.
It's a different
taste.
like texture weird thing. I don't know. People tell me I'm crazy, but I just don't like it.
Well, I'm more of a fruity person, and they did bring back some of this chocolate, and some of it has like little fruit inside. One was like orangey, one was raspberry.
See,
so
I'm down with that.
I could do that.
Chocolate-covered fruit or any chocolate with peanut butter.
There you go.
Oh, peanut butter, yes, definitely.
Chocolate's going to melt, so don't leave it in the car tomorrow. We're back in the low 80s with sunshine. It is going to also be a little more humid for Monday and Tuesday. Shower chances starting to increase overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, and we have the chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day on Wednesday. Not a major rain accumulation event, but still may hear a few rumbles of thunder.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.